Hello friends, and welcome back to another tutorial. I have surprisingly gotten a lot of requests to do these Kandi ties. So today I'm going to show you how to make them. Specifically, we're going to be doing this stitch, the ladder stitch. There are kind of two different stitches that you can do. There's a peyote version and then there's this version. I find that this version's a lot easier and uses a lot less beads. However, if you guys are really passionate about the peyote version, let me know and I can try my best to make a tutorial for that for you guys. No promises because it's a lot of beads. You guys are going to be so proud of me today. I measured. Now, these measurements and this bead number is only for the tie part. I am not including the necklace part, and I'll get into that in a minute. I use about 120 inches of non-stretch string and 183 beads for the actual tie piece. Now, you may not want a long tie, you might want a tiny little one, or you might want one that's even longer. So these measurements might not be for you. However, if you're following along with me and you want to do this exact length, then those are your measurements. Now, if you've seen my axolotl tutorial, that is basically a ladder stitch. And we don't want to use stretch string on a ladder stitch. I'm going to put a little video of here what happens. Using my axolotl as an example, it kind of smooshes in on itself and it doesn't hold its shape. So I really cannot strongly recommend enough a non-stretch string. So this is what I have. There's still a slight stretch to it, but it's nowhere near elastic. Now for this piece here, I did use elastic string. I doubled it up. I will not be giving you the measurements on these or how many beads because that is totally up to you. But everyone's head, everyone's neck is different. I liked mine smaller because I liked it smaller. That's why I switched to the elastic string so I could pull it over my head. I am not going to show you each and every step. I'm going to show you the starting basis. And then once you kind of get here, it is just rows of 6 all the way until you feel comfortable. For me, I did 22 rows of 6. But that's up to you. Once we get done with our 26 rows or 22 rows of 6, I will continue the rest of the way. So I have my string cut out. I did more than 120 inches. I think I probably did like 125. I just roughly measured. I'm going to take both ends of my string and they're going to touch like this. So essentially we're going to be folding our strings in half. On one side of our string, it doesn't matter. We're going to place 1 bead. On the other side of our string, we are going to take 2 beads. And we'll place them on just like this. Now, the next thing we're going to do, we're going to take the side that has the pink bead, so the 1 bead, and we are going to weave it into the side that has the 2 beads. Now, direction is important here. We want to make sure that whatever side our string is sticking out of is where we're going to weave. So for me, my string is sticking out of my 2 yellow beads here. I'm going to take this side of the string and I'm going to weave it in just like this. Oh my goodness. Alrighty. I'm going to pull this a little bit. And I am going to take a pin or a clip and I'm going to clip my 2 strings together just like this. Okay. I want to make sure that these stay as even as they possibly can on both sides, especially if you measured. And then I am just going to pull. And I'm going to keep pulling. We're going to keep pulling until we get something that looks like this. Now, these are about as even as I can get them. That's why I don't do an exact 120 inches, just because I like to leave myself a little leeway. So for the rest of this, it does not matter what side of the string you start on for the rest of the project. On one side of my string, I'm going to take 3 beads and place it on just like this. I'm then going to take the other side of my string and I'm going to weave it in on the side that the string is sticking out of. Just like that. And I'm going to pinch, hold, and pull. All right, and I'm going to do this again, but I'm going to do it with 4 beads. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna take 4 beads on one side of my string. Again, it does not matter which side. And this time, I'm gonna let this drop all the way down. I'm gonna take the other side of my string with no beads on it, and I'm gonna weave it through. And remember, we're gonna do it on the side that the string is sticking out of. And I'm gonna pull. All right. So letting your beads drop all the way down to one side of the string, and then taking your string and just weaving it through, just saves you a lot of time from going like shh. Promise. So once again, taking one side of my string, I'm gonna be placing on 5 beads now. I'm gonna let these drop all the way to this side. Now taking the other side of my string, I'm going to weave it through. I'm gonna weave it through the side of the string that's sticking out for my yellows. I'm gonna hold this side of the string and I'm just gonna pull. Alrighty, and now we're gonna start our rows of 6. So I'm gonna go ahead and add 6 beads to one side of my string. I'm just gonna let them drop. I'm gonna take my other side of the string and I'm gonna weave it through. So remember, we're gonna weave it through the side that the string is sticking out of. And I'm gonna pull. Alrighty, now I'm gonna show you how to do this about 2 more times. On one side of my string, I'm gonna go ahead and add on 6 beads. Going to let them drop. I'm gonna take the other side of my string and I'm going to weave it through. And we're just gonna pull. I'm gonna show you do this one more time. 6 beads on one side of our string. I'm gonna let them drop. I'm going to take the other side of my string here and I'm gonna weave it through. That's 5. From here, if you're following the exact pattern that I'm doing, you are going to do 19 rows of 6 or 22 rows in total if that's easier. And from here, I am going to stop filming. I'm going to record when it's time for the next step, when we're building up the neck part of our tie. So if you are at home following along with me, this is where you are going to pause the video and then play once you are ready again. Alrighty, so we have now officially finished our 22 rows of 6. We are now about to start with the neck piece of our tie. Alright, so I am going to, on one side of my string, I'm going to go ahead and do 5. 3, 4, and 5. And we're going to be doing the exact same thing that we were before, so just taking that string and weaving it through. Okay, and we are going to now do a row of 4. And we're going to pull. Alrighty, and now we are going to do a row of 3. And we are going to go ahead and do another row of 3. All right, and now we're going to do a row of 4. And we are going to do a row of 5. And now we are going to do 3 more rows of 6. Our second row of 6. And our last row of 6. Okay, so this completes the base of your Kandi tie. And I'm gonna go ahead and tie this off, and the way that I'm gonna do that is I'm gonna take my string and I'm gonna loop it through this way. And this should create a little loop, and then I'm just gonna pull and tie it. Now the string that I'm using is so incredibly thick that there's just no way I can hide this knot. So I'm just gonna take the L on that. I'm not gonna even attempt to hide it because it's just not gonna happen. And I'm gonna do the same thing on this side as well. And I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going to cut off my extra tails. And this, my friends, has completed the tie portion. Now, if you are also going to be using elastic for the neck, as you can see here, I use 2 pieces of elastic string, just because I find that this piece here is going to be really heavy, and on one piece, it'll kind of pull down a bit, and these beads can pinch your neck, or let's say if you wear this to a rave and you go dancing, it's going to really bounce if you don't use 2 to 3 pieces. Now, for the neck piece, I'm going to take my elastic string, and I'm going to fold it into these beads here. And this top row up here, I'm gonna weave it through. Now, again, my string is incredibly thick, so this is gonna be a pain in the butt for me, but we gonna get it done. Okay, I did it. Took me a while, but I got there. All right, so from here, you are going to build this just like you would like a normal Kandi single. For this part, like I said before, I did leave mine pretty small. But again, you can make this part as long as you want. It's really up to you. I just think that the smaller this piece is, the more tie-like it looks. So from here, I am just literally going to make a Kandi necklace. Alrighty, now with everything tied together and tied off, here we go. I have my very own Kandi tie. So just like this tutorial, a lot of my tutorials are actually suggestions from you guys. So if you have any suggestions or questions or even feedback, please leave them in the comments below. Feedback really, really helps my channel grow, so I appreciate it all. Constructive, positive, I want it. I also wanted to stick around for the end of the video to say thank you everyone for 1,000 subscribers. It means the world to me. Thank you so much, and I'm so happy that everyone has been really enjoying my tutorials. Alrighty, my friends, thank you so much for sticking around. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next tutorial.